Marc Guiu, Barcelona's atypical teenage talent who Chelsea and Bayern Munich are chasing, the 18-year-old netted the winner on his Blaugrana debut just seconds after coming off the bench, but could now depart this summer. Spanish publication Sport called him a striker in the shadows. A former coach admitted he was unstoppable with space. But in October 2023, Marc Guiu became a Barcelona cult hero overnight, a 17-year-old who had salvaged a result for his team within seconds of emerging into their consciousness and was being tipped to become a crucial part of the Blaugrana setup for years to come. Guiu wasted little time in introducing himself to the world that night against Athletic Club. Around 23 seconds, in fact. Where Ferran Torres and Joao Felix had failed, he succeeded, darting in behind the visitors' defense, taking one touch, before steering his shot off the leg of Unai Simon and into the net. It was a goal that demonstrated everything Guiu was about. He is a player unlike modern La Liga strikers, an archetype that Spanish football rarely churns out. Guiu was strong, fast and direct, a physically gifted and ruthless number 9. This is not a link-up striker or false 9. Rather, Guiu is a potentially game-changing goalscorer, something he showed in his Barca debut. However, the chances of him becoming part of the furniture in Catalonia now look far less certain after it emerged in recent days that Bayern Munich and, in particular, Chelsea are pushing to get hold of the Spanish striker this summer, with his release clause set at just €6 million, £5M/$6M. With that in mind, Goal takes a look at the potentially ruthless number 9 who could well now be seen as one who got away from Barca, where it all began. There is nothing overtly unique about Guiu's Barcelona story. Born in 2006, less than an hour's drive from Camp Nou, he grew up a massive Barcelona fan. At the age of 7, he got the opportunity to join his boyhood club, establishing a foothold in La Masia's setup by 2014. His age group is one of the most talented crops of Barca talent in recent memory. Top prospects Alexis Olmedo, Pau Prim, Hector Fort and Arnaud Pradas have all grown up together, and were all tipped to work their way into the first team before long. Still, Guiu wasn't as highly regarded as fellow recent graduates Lamine Yamal, Gavi or Alejandro Balde. His talent was clear to all, but how he might fit into a modern Barcelona side was up for debate. The big break. That changed in late 2023. While Yamal was the biggest name in Spain's under-17 side at the European Championship that summer, Guiu had a decent claim to be their best player. The striker scored 4 goals as Spain made a run to the semifinals, equaling Yamal's tally for the tournament, that proved to be enough to earn a spot in the Barca athletic squad, who play in the Spanish third tier. And he has started early on, scoring 5 goals in the first 2 months of the season. Xavi took notice in early October, naming the 17-year-old to his matchday squad for Barca's Liga clash against Granada. That time, he didn't make it off the bench. A fortnight later, though, he did. The rest has gone down in Blaugrana folklore. How it's going. Guiu's remarkable first-team debut may have stunned the rest of Europe, but not then Barca coach Xavi, who admitted that he could tell Guiu was ready, saying, "I saw it in Gavi, Balde, Lamine, Fermin Lopez, and I saw it in Marc." There was no fear in his face. "I told him he would get one chance. He gets one chance and he took it. I felt he was ready. I am really happy for Marc. He is a good kid who works hard." The teenager's wild introduction meant he was able to remain around the first-team squad for much of the campaign, though he only made 6 further appearances in all competitions. He did, however, manage to open his Champions League account with a goal against Royal Antwerp in December, while he played his part in Barca Athletic reaching the promotion playoffs, too. Biggest strengths. Guiu's most obvious strengths are clear to see from when he steps on the pitch. He is an immensely strong, quick, and powerful player. He has a long stride, bruising physique, and arrowed running style that makes him a real handful for defenders. The 18-year-old isn't necessarily a deadly finisher. Still, he's instinctive around the box, and has a solid right foot. He's also good in the air, something La Masia coach Ivan Carrasco described as his best attribute. Coaches have also lauded his intensity and work rate, praising the striker's willingness to press off the ball, sacrificing his own legs for the betterment of the team. Room for improvement. But with Guiu's greatest strengths come some of his most glaring weaknesses. He is a central presence who is at his best in and around the box. He's not quite a target man, but more of a classic striker than the sort of floaty center forward that has become popular in the modern game. He is not a striker who can drop to the flanks or stands out for his combination play, Carrasco admitted. Asking him to do any of those things could be considered a misuse of his talent. But if he is to make it in senior football, he will certainly have to improve his all-round game. Guiu is not a particularly effective passer or dribbler. He prefers to run into open space, and is at his worst when forced to operate in crowded areas. He isn't terrible with the ball at his feet, but doesn't function well in areas away from goal. Still, it is hardly unusual for a teenage striker to need some fine-tuning. Room for improvement. But with Guiu's greatest strengths come some of his most glaring weaknesses. He is a central presence who is at his best in and around the box. He's not quite a target man, but more of a classic striker than the sort of floaty center forward that has become popular in the modern game. He is not a striker who can drop to the flanks or stands out for his combination play, Carrasco admitted. Asking him to do any of those things could be considered a misuse of his talent. But if he is to make it in senior football, he will certainly have to improve his all-round game. Guiu is not a particularly effective passer or dribbler. He prefers to run into open space, and is at his worst when forced to operate in crowded areas. He isn't terrible with the ball at his feet, but doesn't function well in areas away from goal. Still, it is hardly unusual for a teenage striker to need some fine-tuning. What comes next? Chelsea have shown since their Todd Boehly-led takeover that they are keen to hoover up as much young talent as possible, and with big money deals having been agreed for South American sensations Kendry Páez and Estevão Willian to join in 2025, they are now scouring Europe for potential bargains. Guiu certainly fits that mold given his 7-figure release clause, and reports suggest the deal could be done by the end of June, with the Blues having seemingly beat off Bayern's competition to bring yet another teenager to West London. Quite where Guiu fits into the pecking order at Stamford Bridge is unclear, as Enzo Maresca's attack is reshaped over the summer, and there is a chance he will be sent out on loan to gain further first-team experience. There is, however, no doubting his talent, while he has already shown he can step up and make dreams come true. Chelsea could be getting themselves another top-quality youngster at a relatively low price. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel to receive the next. Thanks for watching. To the next.